Hello, welcome everybody to Jetstreamers, episode 2. No, it's episode 3. Great start. Great start already. Welcome to Jetstreamers, episode 3, not including the pilot. I'm BiggusBennus, your pilot, and I'm joined today by the one and the only. A load of people in my community know you, but if they don't, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Frank. I go by FrankthePegasus on Twitch, but you can call me Frank or Frankie or whatever, really. Just be nice.
Yeah, just be nice. Yeah, exactly. Just be nice. That is like the moral of the... Whenever you're on the internet, just be nice, please. If only everybody could follow that, that would be great. But yeah, welcome. It is October the 26th, 2020, and we are flying from Milan, Italy to Zagreb, which is the capital of Croatia. And yeah, our co-pilot today is the one, the only FrankthePegasus, who is a variety streamer from the US. In just a few, well, here we go. It's my little thing that I wrote. I thought it sounded witty when I wrote it. I'm not sure whether it is or not.
I like it.
You like it?
Do the thing, yeah.
Thank you.
I read it and I was like, this is so cute.
I did that at 3 a.m. I was like, well, just a few moments. We'll dim the lights and get ready for takeoff. Please be aware of all exits. There's the cross in the corner of the window, the power button on your PC, or just pull it out at the plug should the need arise. You know, if the chat goes so far down that it was like, no, just end it. Just pull the plug out. Yeah. Anyway, we're now getting ready for takeoff. But yeah, Frank, thank you so much for agreeing to join me on Jetstreamers.
I felt very honored that you wanted me to be on it, honestly. So
Of
thank
course.
you.
No, I'm really, really happy. And I know there were some people, especially in my chat or in the community, who know you very, very well or who watch you a lot. And, for them, it's very, it's great to have you on and get to know you. Because I think this is the first time we've ever, because we were on the same stream team. Frank is in Rainbow Arcade along with me, but I don't think we've ever been in a call or anything like that, or even in a game together.
We should really rectify that.
Yeah.
Like after this also.
Definitely. You were just saying you're playing Among Us. I am always down for some Among Us. I took like a break for a week or two, and now I'm like, right, I need more Among Us. It's so good.
I needed to for my nerves. It makes me so anxious, but I just I love it also.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but wonderful.
I've got to the point now where I'm like, I must play. I only like really crewmate, because when I'm imposter, I get so so stressed out.
I genuinely shake when I'm imposter.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now because I was shaking and I was like, am I cold or am I just nervous?
Yeah. And if you win as imposter, the feeling is brilliant. Yeah. But yeah, anybody in the chat, by the way, I will be keeping an eye on the chat. If you've got any questions, feel free to let us know. The alerts and stuff are off. Because this goes on to Spotify, iTunes, or if you're wanting to catch the visual of us actually flying from Milan, which we're about to fly, we've just taken off. Then go to YouTube, youtube.com/BiggusBennus. It is on there.
You're an excellent pilot. I didn't even realize we'd already taken off.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll definitely know when we land. Make sure everything is all drinks are unopened, and food is not, there's no hot food around, because otherwise it'll go all over the place. We're flying from Milan. This is in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Flying from Milan, Malpensa, which I've actually been to Zagreb in Croatia. Have you ever been to Italy or Croatia?
No, I've never been to that part of Europe. The only parts I've ever been to, and this was a long time ago, like over 10 years ago, I went to the UK, Wales, and Ireland. So that's all I've seen of all of Europe.
You went to Wales? Where in Wales did you go?
Honestly, I don't know. It was for a school trip. I was in orchestra when I was in high school, and we went as a school orchestra trip to those 3 places. And we kind of did a little mini tour. Oh. So we stopped in Wales, but the most specific thing I can tell you is that we stopped at a castle, which I find every time I've ever told anybody that it's not very remarkable.
I'm thinking, well, there are so many castles here. In 1 hour, if I wanted to, I could probably visit about 10 castles within an hour of here, including one right in the very center.
There were also a lot of sheep.
Wales again. Really, you know that. I won't say what the stereotype of Welsh people is because I'm not originally from Wales, but it involves sheep. It's very well known. But yeah, no. Oh well, if you ever come back, let me know because I live in Wales. I live in Cardiff. It's a beautiful place.
You?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
didn't realize that.
I'm in Cardiff. I used to be in Barcelona for a while, but for 6 years, but came back home right at the right time. It seems. It turns out. Perfect. Well. So, yeah. So I'm going to be chatting to Frank about all sorts of stuff: streaming, gaming, everything. I was very tempted to get a glass of wine, just to chill, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to have coffee. So if I'm a bit jittery, that's why. I've got the world's biggest coffee here. I'll definitely need to drink it by the time we land, otherwise, yeah, it'll go all over the place. So let's start right at the very beginning. Why did you decide just one day that you decided, that you wanted to stream?
I actually did this at the suggestion of my partner. My partner ever asked me, would you ever stream? And I was like, I think if we did it together, I would really like that. And when I first started, we did. I was the one on camera, but they were in voice chat with me every single time we streamed, and we kind of did it as just like a silly hobby for a bit. We took it seriously from the start, which I think is really interesting, but it was still very much a hobby. And then it kind of turned into something that I just did by myself because I don't think they liked it as much as I did.
Yeah.
I found that I really liked it, and then we kind of kept going.
It can be really addictive and grab you, or you can just trail off, can't you? Especially if other live things come up. Yeah, I was going through my old Discord. Have you ever gone through, I don't know if you're like me and kind of have a massive collection of Discord channels that you're in, but I went through because I was like, I'm going to have to get out of some of these. And the people, I'm like, oh my God, I used to watch this person stream 2 years ago and I've totally forgotten about them. I never see them around anymore.
I don't have that for Discord, but I do have a really old calendar that I used to keep of all of my community members' birthdays. I get notifications every morning. Well, not every morning, but a lot of mornings for birthdays for people that I haven't thought about in a while, probably since their last birthday.
It is sad that, yeah. Oh. And sometimes, do they ever come back and you're just blown away?
Yeah, I have a couple of people that have been around since the beginning, basically. We have a few people that I'm like, why do you still watch me? Why are you still here?
How long have you been streaming?
Here. I've been streaming for 5 years. Is that right?
5 years, wow.
5 years, I think.
Yeah. What did you start? What were you streaming right at the very beginning?
I streamed a little known game called Walkfu, which is actually part of the reason that I started. It's an MMO, but nobody knows it. And the reason I started streaming it was because I wanted to make friends who played it. And I thought, if I stream it, either I'll meet people that are interested in playing the game and maybe they'll want to play with me, or I'll meet people who are already playing the game and then we can play together. Because the servers were dying and I had one person from my previous guild that played still, and I just needed to meet new people playing it. And I quickly found out that the people that watched me were not watching me for that game, and they had no interest in me playing that game. And so I just started playing other games instead.
Yeah. Would you mind if I play a different game? Yeah, please. Yeah.
They're like, we don't understand this one.
Do you still play that game ever?
No. We played it as kind of like a stream meme ages ago because, like I said, I do have a few community members that I met while playing that game, from another community that I was part of. They came over and they would watch my streams, but they had no idea what that game was. They just were watching my streams. And so we always joked that I would go back to that game if we ever hit this ridiculous milestone. And then we did. Yeah. And so I played it again. I think it was it earlier this year? Honestly, I don't, what year is it? I don't know.
Yeah. But this year's weird.
Again. I did play it again. It might have been already a year ago that I did that, but we joke that it's Walkfu when? When are you going to do that? When are you going to play Walkfu again?
Walkfu. Yeah. As Moni says in the chat, it's March the 285th in 2020. Yeah.
It's spooky March now.
It really is. It just keeps going on and on and on. Not sure what's happening. But yeah, so when did you get partnered? Sorry, I'm going off. I gave you the questions I was going to give you, and now I'm asking the questions I really want in my head. When did you get partnered?
I got partnered. It'll be actually my partner anniversary is a week from tomorrow, and it will be 4 years.
4 years, that's real amazing achievement. Congratulations. Do you have anything planned for that?
No, wait, 3 years? It must be 3 years. Is it 4 years? Honestly, I don't know. It must be 3 years. It's 3 years. And no, I don't. I should. I've been starting to plan things.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to do it on the 3rd because of reasons for here in the US.
Oh yeah, I'm
The
interested
3rd
in that as well.
may be a day that I don't want to like be a celebratory day exactly. So
Yeah.
I think I might wait till the weekend. But yeah, I would like to celebrate it. I'm not exactly sure how yet.
Yeah. Hopefully
It
we'll
must
all
be
be in a
three
good
years
mood
though.
by the end. That
It
would
has
be
to be 3 years. I'm like trying to think of how long people have been subbed to me. So
wow.
3 years makes more sense.
Of course, yeah, 'cause subbing only came around after. Well, I started it and there wasn't like affiliates didn't exist, and then but
Hmm.
that was about the summer because I started in January, and then about the summer affiliates came in, and
Hmm.
yeah.
Same. I streamed for almost an entire year before affiliate was a thing.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
When you
back in the
started, was
day.
because I don't remember this, but I apparently because I think it might have been the case when I first started, but my memory's gone.
I
That
know
partners needed 500 concurrent viewers to be
that
partnered.
that was technically like what they had written down
Okay.
for like if you looked at any any official Twitch guide, they would say you needed 500 concurrents. But when I got partnered, it was right before, not right before, but prior to them like putting out the like more um I
Achievable.
guess
Well,
yeah, well no,
yeah.
like the more transparent
Oh, okay.
goals, like you actually have like the benchmarks now. They didn't have that when I was applying.
Hmm.
Um but it was roughly the same. They wanted around 100 concurrents. They said 80 to 100 concurrents and growing for 3 months. So from my very not great observations of everything that's been going on, watching people hit that benchmark and then still get rejected, I
Yeah.
think that's probably still the case, that they still want 80 to 100 concurrents and growing. But
Hmm.
um, it's nice that you at least get the benchmarks now that you can kind of like hit for,
Yeah.
this many hours stream, that many whatevers and viewers and that kind of thing. So
And there's
that's
other
kind of nice.
stuff as well probably going on in the background that they don't tell us about.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very sure. I
I
don't
got a
know.
friend
Partnering is
who
such a thing.
it's a bit like, oh, I've got a friend whose dad works at Disney and all this stuff. No, I've got a friend who knows somebody in Twitch and was also like, if you've got quite a few subs, that also helps a lot. If you've
Hmm.
got, if you're helping the business,
Yeah.
then you get
Yeah.
looked upon favorably as well.
Right. Exactly. You can show them like, oh, I have like the business sense behind this. I can make
Yeah.
money for you if you
Yeah.
just let me.
It's a partner, I
So
suppose, isn't it? Especially nowadays with certain companies. So why do you enjoy streaming? Why did you stick with it like this long, 5 years?
Um, honestly, because of the people. I get to meet people from everywhere, which is like, what other job can you say? Oh, I'm sure there are lots of other jobs. I'm gonna say this, but what other jobs can you say where you can like meet somebody from across the world and just have a conversation with them
Yeah.
and casually ask them about what their day-to-day life is like and have a shared experience at the same time? Like, you come in because you like something about what I'm doing on stream,
Mm.
whether that's the game or my background or whatever reason you
Yeah.
clicked on the stream. So there's something that we have in common here. And then I get to ask you about your life. I have so many friends that, for better or for worse, are across the world. And that to me is just such a cool thing. I've learned so much from being on Twitch,
Yeah.
both like just about myself, but mainly about like how other cultures work and other languages work. And I don't know, it's just that to me is the piece that keeps me going.
Yeah.
I do like other things about it. Like I love the creative freedom that I have. I love that I make my own hours. Um, I love that I do get to kind of flex a creative side of myself. I didn't really get to do that prior, but
Mm.
mainly it's the people. I think the people are if it weren't for the live chat and the community, I don't know that I would stream.
Yeah. I feel like what you've just said now, like the people in chat who maybe don't stream and are like, I want to stream now. Like, that's such a really good advert for streaming, and I totally agree with everything there. How did you find it right at the start? So you had your partner and they were on voice chat, right? So was that
Mhm.
good for you to have someone to kind of constantly be there to talk to?
It really was. People ask all the time, like, when you start streaming, how do you get in the practice of talking all the time? And I tell them that I cheated because I did. because
Yeah.
I had somebody to talk to the whole time. So there was never really dead air because we were talking to each other. And sometimes I would also have other people in voice with me.
Hmm.
And I think that's something that I don't do as often now, because I find it to be really distracting just based on like the kind of community that we've built is really centered around conversations that are like kind of not exactly one on one, but they're one voice. I'm not being distracted by another voice over here that's talking and then also trying to manage talking to chat maybe about something entirely different.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I do super often anymore. But when we didn't have as many viewers and it was just a few people in chat and we were able to manage all of that at once, it was really nice to kind of get in the practice of talking before I built up an audience. And then by that time I'd gone solo by that time. So
Yeah. I found that when I've had duo streams recently, it's not as kind of communicative. Despite having somebody right there with me, I feel like there's a bit of like a communication loss with the chat. Whereas
hmm
when it's just you and this chat, there's a lot more because it's just a two-way
I think
conversation.
it's just easier, especially if that other person isn't as dedicated to like having the same conversation with chat, or
Hmm.
maybe they want to say something and like you end up cutting each other off at some point. It's definitely a whole thing to manage, and it's not everybody's style. And I kind of save it for special occasions now. It's not that I don't want to do it ever. I just kind of save it for special occasions.
Yeah. No, same. By the way, we're just flying over. We've gone over the east of Italy. We've gone past a few, various things. I'm just going to tell you exactly where we are, in case anybody's there with a map. They're, trying to work out where we're flying. Currently, so we left Milan. We've gone east. We're flying over a. This is a. I have no idea. No idea where this is right now. We are.
Some mountains and some water.
Exactly. This, I believe, is a river or a lake. Yes, there you go. No, this. Oh wait, no, this is it. This is Lake Diseo, Lago Diseo. We do go. Yeah. So the next lake we fly over is Lake Garda, which it's quite a famous lake. There.
I don't know it, but we established earlier that I don't know anything about European countries. I failed that test miserably.
Yeah, I did as well, pretty much. For somebody that actually lives in Europe and has been to probably about 7 or 8 countries outside of the UK in Europe. I went. In fact, you said that you went to the UK on like a tour of your orchestra. That's what I did with in Austria. My school.
Cool.
We went
I
on
didn't know you played.
I used to play the tuba because they
Did
were
you?
like, he's really tall. Give him the biggest instrument and just yeah.
Are you tall?
Yeah, that's where the Big Ben comes from, the BiggusBennus.
I feel like an idiot.
No, it's something, yeah.
That makes so much sense.
I am
I
giant.
had no idea you were tall. I mean, I didn't think you were short, but I didn't think you were like.
When you're a streamer as well, that's the thing
person.
with as streamers, you don't ever think about someone's height. No, I'm just over 6'5", so I'm.
You're tall.
Yeah.
You're not just like kind of tall. You're over a foot taller than me.
Oh, well.
That's very tall.
But I'm sitting down now, so that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
No, we're the same height now.
yeah, no, we are. Yeah, it's weird. You don't get people's. That's another thing. Yeah, when you're streaming, you can't not judge people, but when you see people, you don't ever think about how tall are they, how short they are, unless there's always every like few weeks a conversation will come up in chat about how tall people are, and
We
and then you're
genuinely
like,
had one like 2 days ago.
yeah, there you go. We have them occasionally as well. It's great. Okay, so this is a good question. What have you learned along the way that you wish you'd known? So in those 5 years, what do you wish you had known at the start that you know now?
I wish I would have known. I guess like, oh gosh, there's so many things that I wish I would have known. One of the big ones that comes to mind is that if people leave the community, it is not on you, and it has often nothing to do with you. And either they will find their way back eventually, or they won't. And you cannot try and make them stay or spend your time and energy wondering why they left in the first place, or you kind of have to just always be focusing on the people that are there. And it's sad a lot of the time. When I was a much smaller streamer, I would definitely mourn kind of the loss of somebody that decided to leave the community. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not like they're announcing like I'm going to leave now, but you know, you notice that they're not showing up anymore.
Mm.
And I would kind of be like, oh, I hope they're doing okay. I wonder where they are. I wonder what's going on. And at this point, I notice, but I have to focus more on the people that are there
Yeah.
and putting your energy toward the people that are there every day and that do show up. That it just makes for the whole experience for everyone to be better. Yourself, puts your own mental health a bit more at ease, and it makes for a better broadcast for the folks that do manage to come. You know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's really hard not to take it personally, but you just have to. I mean, so
Hmm.
they might change, but also streams change as well.
Hmm.
I know there's some
Sometimes
people.
people just outgrow Twitch too. You
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, lockdown. Have you found quite a few people were here every day, all day for lockdown, and then as
Hmm.
it's like opened up a bit, you never hear from
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been yeah, that was yeah. Between like the lockdown boom, which I didn't actually see coming. I probably should have seen coming, but I didn't really see coming. And then like the decrease after that, you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I hope work is good. I'm glad you're able to go outside again.
Oh, that was a wild wave to ride, that
Hmm.
lockdown boom. So do you have any advice for people that are starting on Twitch right now? Anyone that's brand new starting out?
If you are brand new, um, enjoy it. Everything that you do, put your enjoyment first, because that is the way, if you want to do it for a long term anyway, that's the only way to do it long term, is to enjoy that you're doing it in the first place. And that could mean, like there's so many confounding factors to this. That could mean playing the types of game that you want. That could mean playing with people if you want to be doing that. That could mean just, only doing it really casually and all that. It whatever that means for you, just enjoy the whole process, and um, kind of take your time when it comes to making decisions that feel like they're going to be like permanent decisions. There's no need to like establish yourself as a brand from the get. But
Mm-hmm.
once you do decide to quote unquote brand yourself, make sure that that is stuff that sticks. Because rebranding and rebranding and rebranding confuses people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I could talk about beginning streaming. That's a whole podcast.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about people who want to just start out. But the biggest one I think is enjoy it, because if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Do you would say like enjoy it just for the fact that you are streaming and you're able to talk to a
Hmm.
couple of people?
Hmm.
Because goals are great to have, but if you've just got these goals and you in your head you must hit them.
Yeah, well,
It's
the thing about goals is that like you hit one and it never feels quite as good as you think it's gonna feel, or you get that like, hit of endorphins after hitting the goal, and you're like, all right, what's the next one? Because now I got to keep this high going. So like, if you're only doing it just to hit goals, you're just gonna burn yourself out that way. You really are. And I know we talk about burnout a lot as streamers,
yeah,
but um like that drive for hitting a goal, especially goals that you can't control, because a lot of the goals that we talk about as streamers are like follower goals or viewer goals, or I want partnership, or I want X number of subscribers. They're all of these like really number heavy goals, and
yeah,
on top of that, those are things that we can't control. I can't control how many people are going to watch my stream on any given day. The only thing I can really control is, am I doing the best I can do behind the camera and to create content that people do want to click on? Am
yeah,
I having fun?
yeah,
I can control my actions and hope that other people see that and show up. I can try and focus on, okay, I want to try and create clickable moments today, or clippable moments, which are, those are things that I can do. I can say like, oh, this would be a fun clip if I did this.
yeah.
So
Totally
yeah.
agree. And by the way, we've just flown over Lake Garda, and we're about to go flying very close to this mountain. So might need to lift your feet up
Okay.
in a in a second just to make sure. But speaking about the goals, Mr. Wibble asked a really good question. Says, what would be a good goal though? Because sub goals feel very artificial, and sub
So
goals go, yeah, they up and down.
I'm
Like,
curious what you think of that, Ben, because For me, it is really focusing on like kind of less tangible goals, which is not something that I actually typically advise people to do. Like, I really like to say, like, goals should be measurable because otherwise they're hard to achieve. But when it comes to streaming, a lot of my goals are like, uh, go live this number of days per month, or go live this many hours per day, or go live consecutively, like when I said I was
Yeah.
going to for this many days, or, like stick to my schedule for that many days, or that kind of thing. Because those are, like, again, things I can control that are still measurable. But I'm really curious because I know you did the 100 days streaming.
Yeah, that was a really good way of kind of disciplining myself that I must start stream, and I pretty much until I got offered partnership, because when I started the 100 days with like 20 viewers average, and then Animal Crossing came out on day one, literally day one of my 100 days of stream, because it was the 100th day was my birthday, and I like counted back and got it so that day one, not only was it the day that not only was day one the day that Animal Crossing came out, but it was also the first day that we had a national lockdown. So it just like all came together, and I was like,
That
well,
is so magical.
it's something's happened. Yeah, it's something behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it just all worked together, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go. I'm going to be a mess if I don't discipline myself. And I was like, well, these 100 days of stream, I'll start at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. I think it was. I moved it a little bit, and having those 100 days of stream were just really good for discipline. I am now, unfortunately, I got partner, and then I was kind of a bit lax with what time I was starting my stream. I'd be a bit later, and I might switch a few games a bit more because, I'd been building and been seeing the numbers getting higher and higher, and they're going like, okay, I'm not changing anything. This is working. I'm not changing anything. And then when eventually I did get partner, I did kind of go a bit lazy and took the odd day off. Well, after the 100 days. And now my goals is now getting myself to be not strict, but if I can't stream or I'm not in the right headspace, being able to cancel it. But like having a routine, getting myself a routine and a time frame that when I'm, because I'm very disorganized, and I feel like that this next year or so is just me getting organized. But when it comes to like numbers, yeah, sub goals, no, I would love to maintain. Like it's as a partner is like 75 average. My dream goal is if I finish a stream and they send me the Twitch summary and my average is over 75, I'm like, okay, brilliant time.
Yeah, I want to maintain my partnership. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know you don't maintain it, but I know imposter syndrome is like a real thing with a lot of people. Not really. I'm very lucky. I don't particularly suffer from that too much, but I feel if it was lower than that, I just know that my head would be like, well, people are probably thinking, why is he? And and so that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
By the way, we're just flying over very soon. Well, in the very far distance, just underneath Frank the Pegasus cloud is Venice. Which,
I see it.
Unfortunately, it's quite
Venice.
far off, so we don't get to see it. But I'd love to go to Venice.
Me too. Italy's
gorgeous. Beautiful food, beautiful landscape, beautiful people. It's Italy is just amazing. All right. So, how do you find... Oh, no, that was it. That was right, because we were talking about branding, and I was like, I'm going to use this question that was submitted from a Metallica fan, who said, how did you decide on the name Frank the Pegasus?
I wish I had a great story, because it is, I think, a name that sounds like it would have a really great story behind it.
Yeah.
I was 13 years old when I came up with this name. It's been my username since I was literally a child. And it's because I'm a horse girl and was playing horses with a good friend of mine at the barn. And we came up with horse alter egos. And mine was Frank the Flying Pegasus, which is redundant and thankfully too long to be a username anywhere. So I shortened it to Frank the Pegasus.
Yeah, Frank the Flying Pegasus. That's quite a long twitch.tv /
Frank the Pegasus is already too long for some places. It's like 15 letters long. It's so long.
Yeah, do you sometimes go in there and Twitter? You're Frank the Pegasus on Twitter, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
I think, it's Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat. I tried to get BiggusBennus, but apparently BiggusBennus is too long for Snapchat. So it's...
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if they've changed that now, but yeah. Just
I don't
Big
know what I
Bennus on
am on
there.
Snapchat. I haven't logged into Snapchat and I couldn't tell you how long.
No.
Yeah, Frank
Oh.
the Pegasus was my alter ego from when I was 13 years old. That's the story. It's not.
It's a cool
I wish
story.
it were. I wish it were more exciting because yeah, people ask all the time, and I'm like, I don't know. I made it up when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh. But by the way, anyone in chat, I've seen so many new names in there. Thank you all so much for the follows and for chatting. I'll keep my eye on it in case anybody asks any questions. Astral as well. Astral, thank you so much for the host. Unfortunately, because of Twitch now, like alerts and stuff are very. If you've got fewer than five, it's ridiculous. But I really
Yeah,
appreciate.
we don't like it.
No,
Mm-mm.
we are against that, 100%. And thank you all for the follows. You've got such a lovely community, I've got to say. Like whenever I go in there, I always feel so welcome. And
Same, back at you.
whenever I go in yours, I say hi, and then like 5 people respond to me with hi, and I'm like, I don't know if they know me or if we've spoken before, but I just feel so welcomed, and it's such a really nice
They're
feeling when you go into
great.
someone's community and they're brand new, and then like 3 people say, hey, how are you? Welcome. It's just, I really love that. That's one of my
They're good
favorites.
beans. I've trained them to say hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just say hi. Just.
Just
But I
do
do
it.
think it helps. That is one thing that I kind of pride myself on, is having a pretty welcoming community, and it makes me feel really good that you actually feel that way. So thank you.
Definitely. Yeah. There's quite a few people as well that like Toph as well. I don't, Toph's community is another one that's actually
Yep.
when I first started doing Animal Crossing, not just because he plays Animal Crossing, but I was like, I'd love a community that's that kind of welcoming and friendly. So, very kind. Okay. So how do you find, because this is just making sure the time's okay. Yeah, right. How do you find streaming as a LGBTQIA plus streamer? Because we're members of Rainbow Arcade, which is an LGBTQIA plus stream team. How do you find it? Has it affected you positively, negatively at all?
I think if anything, the overwhelming feeling that I have, like, kind of, if I look at it, if I zoom out, on the whole experience, it's a good positive thing. I feel like it is something that a lot of my community connects over. It's something that kind of brings everybody together in the community, and I find that a lot of people have found me through the queer community. Um, Overwhelmingly, it's a positive experience. I would say, like, day to day, I don't know that I notice that as much, because you always kind of notice the negative things before you notice the positive things.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty rare day anymore that we have folks that come in that are really awful. When the tag first came out, when the LGBTQIA tag first came out and I started using it, I had a conversation with my mods who are rock stars, because I don't know if you used the tag from the start, but it was awful for a while.
And communities as well. I remember they had 2 communities, which was, yeah.
It was really awful. People were using it to target queer folks and to just say some really awful things and to spam chat. And it was pretty disruptive for a bit. And like I said, I had a conversation with my mods back then to be like, I can stop using the tag until things calm down and then we can go back to it. And all of them said, heck no, we are here and we're proud and we are here to help you and fight for this. And you deserve to use that tag and like kind of screw the trolls, basically. And it wasn't for me. It was more for it because I knew how much work it was on all of them to be seeing all of that as well and be dealing with all of that, because, some of it's caught by auto mods, so other folks don't see it, but my mods see every single thing that's said. And to subject other folks to those awful things is not something that I take lightly. I hate anytime a troll comes in and it affects somebody in a negative way. You try to minimize it as much as possible, but it just stinks because that could have ruined somebody's day. Like they could have already been kind of like on the edge of having a not great day, and then they see, something that makes them feel less valued or less worthy, and that's not at all the experience that I want them to have with me. So,
if there's somebody watching who's maybe just starting out, I know there are a couple that are using the LGBTQIA plus tag and are kind of are not sure whether or not to use it, but also if they do use it, what kind of recommendations would you have to stay safe and keep your community safe?
Have a mod. If you're so small that you don't feel like you have somebody that you can trust to mod for you, then set your bot up to automatically catch certain phrases or set auto mod to catch certain phrases, and that's something that you can do in your channel settings. Be prepared to also put yourself in follower only mode or subscriber only mode or followers mode for 10 minutes or R9K mode, which is, I think it's called R9K mode, which is the unique chat mode,
Oh,
to
right.
stop yourself from having like spammers come in.
Yeah.
A lot of those things that you can set up if you have a stream deck or if you have your dashboard open, like follower and emote only and things like that are
Yeah.
like just buttons that you can press on your dashboard. They're quick buttons that Twitch has enabled for us.
Oh, that's good.
But otherwise,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there's like
So
a, yeah.
They're like little things that you can do to kind of set yourself up for that. Also, if you have a Discord server, lock that down because they'll come in and they'll figure out how to get into your Discord server and they'll wreak havoc there without you even realizing.
Yeah, I had that.
So
just a couple of days ago. Because
somebody got into your Discord?
Yeah, well, they got into my Discord, but everything's locked down except for the Among Us chat because that was added later, and I don't think it had synced up with the other ones. So people came in and... but as Mr. Wibble says, I missed the Discord havoc because, like, somebody was like, quick, you need to check out the Discord, and the mods had already deleted it. There were 3 people, or it's the same person 3 times, had gone in and were posting some horrific stuff. It was literally, it was gone within seconds. And the only thing they could do was they were atting all the mods. So the mods got a million alerts.
I love that they like pinged the mods to like, oh, I'm gonna get away with it. Ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, exactly.
The people who are gonna boot you.
The last people you should be pinging are the mods.
Like, don't alert the mods. That's how you get away with it.
Yeah, Astral's like, I had 20 messages out of nowhere. So I am sorry to all the mods that got pinged. Yeah. Bayleaf said he thought he was really popular because he had 20 notifications. Sorry, yeah, that didn't work out. Yeah, we are just going past. The camera just turned. That was Venice. We are slowly getting there. We're going to be very soon. In fact, we're at Campo di Volo Ali del Montello, which is Italian. And then when we go past. Very soon we're going to go, and we actually go through a bit of Slovenia to get to Zagreb in Croatia. So 3 countries. This is the second time actually in a row that we've had 3 countries because we went through Switzerland with little legs from Paris to Milan. So that was all this. Yeah, very fancy. All these sites. That Italian pronunciation was spot on. Thank you, Liam. Liam is my favorite Italian friend. Another member of Rainbow Arcade. So let's go to games. Let's go. Oh, this is this is the common love that we all have, is that we all enjoy playing video games. Now, I introduced you as a variety streamer, but a lot of the time I see you're playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. So I still call myself a variety streamer, but I pretty heavily dabble in basically only simulation open world games and sandbox games, and Animal Crossing happens to be one that it like checks all of the right boxes for me. It's got a community element that I love. It's super cute. It is easy for me to like be creative in the game. There's endless hours of gameplay, and it's really, really chill, which I know you have all of these same experiences. So I play a lot of Animal Crossing. Since it came out, I think I haven't exclusively played it, but I play it a lot.
How many hours are you on? Do you know?
Over 600, 700, a lot.
Yeah.
Too many.
Because I've seen you play. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite. I've gone past 1,000 now, but like I only really play Animal Crossing. But you played Stardew, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you play.
Stardew's probably. I would say Stardew and The Sims and Minecraft are the other ones that I would call like main games of mine. And then there are some other indie titles that kind of fall into that category as well. So I checked out Ooblets when it came out. And I've always really liked My Time at Portia, which has another game that I think is coming out. And
My Time at Portia. I remember I was watching somebody stream it. It might even have been you. I don't know. I was watching someone stream My Time at Portia, and I was like, that looks kind of fun. This was before Animal Crossing. Fun game.
Yeah, there's another one that I just got an email about. It's like My Time at some other city.
Oh.
It's not Portia. I can't remember the name of the city, but it's I think by the same developers, and I think it's like a continuation of that game, or maybe I don't know. I have to look into it.
Moved
more,
out,
but
evicted, gone to
yeah,
yeah.
not at Porsche anymore. We're going elsewhere. That was
Yeah.
really fun though. I definitely recommend it if you've never checked it out.
That's right. It's on, or it was on. That's Porsche's on Switch. I wonder if the new one
Hmm.
will be. Have a look at it.
Oh, I didn't
Hmm.
think about that. Oh.
Yeah, on the go. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, those kind of games. Sandrock, said Astral. Is it my time at Sandrock?
Yes, maybe. Yes.
Maybe. According to Google, says Astral. Okay. Well, if it's on Google, it must be right. Yeah, I agree. I believe you, Astral. What was
I
the
also
first
believe you.
What was the first? What was the first Animal Crossing that you played? Was it this one, or have you played previous ones?
No, yes.
Yeah.
I played I played New Leaf for about like a month's worth of streams, but not exclusively. I played probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 hours of New Leaf prior to right before the release of New Horizons.
Okay.
Because I kind of wanted to get a feel for what it was going to be like to stream the game, because I understood that it was a game that was meant to be played just for like a couple of hours every day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, am I going to be able to fill an entire stream with it? Is it going to get really boring? And New Horizons has really changed the game, because it's not, the gameplay is so different than New Leaf's gameplay, I think. But I just wanted to kind of get a feel for it.
This is the first one of mine. Is it true that in the previous ones, the villagers were kind of rude to you?
I didn't have that experience.
Oh.
I think because I was playing pretty consistently, they didn't get sassy with me about like, oh, I haven't seen you for a while or anything like that.
Yeah.
I will say that, was it Blair? I think Blair's Snooty, I think. And she was in my New Leaf town, and she was a little sassy to me, but she wasn't like mean. She just was sassy. Like, I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But I have heard that. I don't know. I just didn't have that experience, but I think it's because I was playing consistently, and I think they tend to be rude when you're not there for a bit.
Not there for a bit. Wow. Yeah. But Girl says, yeah, the New Leaf villagers broke my heart on the daily. They're kind of rude. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes because I've got two other characters, and sometimes I just won't go on those characters for like a week or so, and then if I do log in and I end up speaking to somebody in them, they're always like, "Yeah, where have you been? Oh, it's been 1 month." Yeah, Sister, I quite like making them rude. Like I give them little catchphrases where they're rude. So like Muffy's catchphrase is "Now be gone." So at the end of every time I chat to her, she gets like, "Get lost."
We always do really like kind of gay catchphrases.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Like one of them is just "Yay, it's gay." One of them is "Eat the rich," which is probably my favorite catchphrase.
That's what Midge had. So Midge is one of my most boring villagers. It's become a meme that she's so boring that like I can't get rid of her now because she's just that dull. But one of her first ever catchphrase was "Eat the rich, eat the rich."
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant! I love that. Yeah, the catchphrases and stuff that you can add. I can't wait for Barreled to allow me to change his catchphrase. That's going to be something.
Do you know what you're going to do yet?
Probably something like "Hey fella," because he looks like one of those people that messages you on an app. That's like he messages people that are like 20 years younger. Like, "Hey fella."
He does.
And the lips, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, my Midge's new greeting is "Here to insult me again." So every time I'll speak to her and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Midge there," and she's like, "Here to insult me again."
Perfect.
Very appropriate.
I love it.
Can you remember? So obviously Animal Crossing, but going all the way back, can you remember the first game you ever played? So you've got the one that you played that you streamed, but what was like the first? What was your first dabble into video games?
Well, Walkthrough was probably the first time that I would have considered myself a gamer, but it was certainly not the first game that I played. It was. So I grew up with older brothers that play video games, and so I did a lot of not playing video games, but instead watching them because they would get the consoles for Christmas, and then my parents would be like, "Well, you have to let your sister play," and they would have the loophole of like she can play, but she can't delete any of our saves, and then they would just fill up all of the saves. So I never actually got to play. The first game I remember playing was Little Mermaid for the SNES. Which I did actually go back and try to play again, like in like a streaming setting, like forever ago now. It was like one of the first games that I played on stream, but
Wow.
It's not. I don't remember getting very far in it then, and it is not as complicated of a game as I thought it was.
Okay.
Going back, it's like 4 levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, Little Mermaid, I think for SNES was probably one of my first. I remember Echo the Dolphin. I don't
Oh,
remember getting
classic.
very far in Echo the Dolphin either.
Hmm. Yeah, I could never get
But yeah,
far. I had Tekken, and my older brother would come round, and he would unlock the characters for me, and then he would go off, and then every time he came over, I was like, "Can you unlock another character for me?" Because I've never been good at fighting
the
games.
only time I've ever played Tekken, I played Tekken 2 with my boyfriend ages ago now, but I'd never played Tekken before that. I'd never really even heard of Tekken before that.
No,
So sorry.
it's like a
We were a Mortal
PS1.
Kombat family.
Ah, right. Yeah, no, I've always, well, I don't like fighting games. I just can't do them. I'm terrible. The less skill
Same.
needed, the better. Animal Crossing is brilliant.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
give me things that I can just
Yeah, Gemma in chat, my mod says, Ben, bad at video games. Who would have guessed? Yeah, I know. Just nobody comes for gameplay.
No.
What game do you think you've put the most time into, like in your life?
Probably at this point, probably Animal Crossing, because I think prior to Animal Crossing, I didn't stick to one game as much. Sims and Stardew are definitely up there. They both have several hundred hours in them at least, and Minecraft also has probably many hundreds of hours in it as well. But I think at this point, Animal Crossing takes the cake. I'm trying to think now if I have any other games that really.
You've not been
kinda
sucked
hit that mark.
into Final Fantasy 14 yet, or ever?
I actually used to play Final Fantasy 14. So when Wakfu kind of shut down, I went through 2 stages of Wakfu. I played it well prior to streaming, and I played it pretty intensely, and then I had to quit because MMOs are bad for me, and I picked up Final Fantasy instead.
Oh, okay.
Which is not a good idea.
Yeah, wait a minute.
And I played that at launch. I actually played it like back when it
Wow.
was
Not
first
1.0,
launching.
did you? 1.0? Whoa, okay. So that put you off MMOs for life, I'm guessing?
Yeah, because I really got to the point where I was like, I really can't play MMOs. Like, I just can't. I've tried a couple of times since then, trying to be like, oh, I'll just be really casual about it. And I'm incapable of being casual about it. And then I get really behind, and I am really bad at like being behind other folks, which makes me want to not be casual about it. So I can't. I just can't. People ask all the time, like, oh, would you play Final Fantasy or ESO or, some of those larger MMOs? And I'm just like, I would love to, but no.
Are you
cannot.
forcing yourself not to play Genshin then, or?
Yeah, I haven't played it yet because I know that I would get really sucked in. Especially since I know that one's a mobile game. I would be definitely on the
Cross
fence about
progression
doing
as
it.
well.
Yeah, doing it either on multiple platforms or just doing it on my phone. And I don't keep phones or phone games at all. I can't because I will wake up in the middle of the night and play them.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad.
I think I've ever.
It's really bad.
The only game I've ever played on my phone was Pokemon Shuffle, which every time I mention it, even like the biggest Pokemon fans, like, what? What's that? It's
You mean Pokemon Go?
No, Pokemon Shuffle. It's like, imagine. I think it's similar to like a Candy Crush style thing, but when you eliminate some you get some Pokemon faces in a row. It will then make it. It'll wear down the Pokemon you're trying to catch. Yeah.
Oh.
It was on the 3DS, and I got really far. Well, I played it mainly on the 3DS, and then I was like, oh my god, it's on the phone, and I started playing it and thought, and then it became I looked, and as it got ported to mobile, it kind of got all the mobile kind of, oh, you can get some extra gems and things, and I'm like, nope, okay, I'm gonna keep away from that now. But it's it is a thing. There you go. People, look, they're actually Googling it because they're like, no, it is a thing. It does exist. Yeah, it's free to download as well on mobile if you want to play, but don't get sucked in because they will. Okay. It's one of those mobile games.
I can't do it.
What are your? Oh, here we go. What are your top 3 games of all time? If you had to put them into the top, if you had a top 3.
I don't know if I could do like an all-time forever and ever. That's really hard.
Do you have like
do you
have like a favorite game?
All the time.
Sorry, yeah, do you have like a favorite game now and then a favorite game of all time?
Animal Crossing is up there for me.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. Speaking of games I put hundreds of hours in, I think I have like 300 hours in Breath of the Wild.
Don't get Genshin then. Don't get Genshin. It is. There's so much Breath of the Wild in that.
Yeah, that's what did you see that video that was like comparing the two side by side?
No, but I can imagine that was a very, yeah, I imagine
there were so many animations that are like very similar and so many like aspects that are super similar that I was like, oh, but I think I would just do a new playthrough of Breath of the Wild. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, the Zelda series is really near and dear to my heart. It was one of the first games I ever remember experiencing. My mom played it, the original, when I was a kid, and I remember watching her play that when I was really, really little.
Are you looking forward to the new one then?
Breath of the Wild is. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so stoked for it.
Have you played hard mode of Breath of the Wild?
I haven't, because I, like you, am not very skilled at games. So
yeah, I played it, and it's just me avoiding. It turns into a stealth game, pretty much.
I would have to. Yeah, I would absolutely have to make it a stealth game. I've thought about going back and collecting Koroks, because at this point I gave myself, like, because it's an open world game, you can kind of do whatever you want with it. But I gave myself the task of getting all of the shrines and all of the memories before I went to Ganon.
That's cool.
But I still have like upgrades and things that I could do. I still have a lot of side quests that I could be doing.
Oh, did you do the DLC?
I did. Well, I did one of the DLCs. I didn't do the one that you were like the Master Sword trials or whatever.
Okay, yeah, no, I finished it before they came out.
Yeah, and then I did. So there's that one, and then there's the Champions Ballad that adds more shrines, and that one I did too, which is fantastic. I recommend it.
I might have to go back because I started playing hard mode, and there was a Lionel on the my way to my third shrine that's still on the Great Plateau. So yeah.
There's a Lionel on the Great. No thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Really close. You know the hut where there's the guy chopping wood or whatever. Yeah, just wandering around there. That was terrifying.
No.
Wasn't expecting that.
It was on easy mode. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'd rather they just easy mode. Turn off weapon degradation or whatever, and just let us go and mooch around there.
Enjoy it.
Oh no, actually no. The reason I stopped playing it, because I did start playing the DLC, and then there was that horse jumping one. You know, the one where you got to go around the course on a horse. And I got so angry with that after about 2 hours of trying to do it, and I was like, you know what? No, and I stopped playing the game for like a year.
That's valid.
That was so annoying. Gary saying, I think I only killed one Lionel. I'm showing off there. I just ran every time I saw one.
I rode one.
And she's.
I did.
And
they
Frank
don't
called.
let you ride them. But I did ride a Lionel. I tried. That was one of the missions that we did when I was playing Breath of the Wild. Was like everything that you could mount, I mounted. Not to be lewd about it, but
Don't take that out of context. Yeah. We actually have a Discord channel called Woots, and it's all the comments that are posted in chat out of context. We can allow clips for this one if you like. Can that? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Please do. Please do.
If you're ever bored, go and have a look in the Woots channel, because it's just all these out of context clips. It's one of my favorite channels. Just go back and look at.
Perfect.
So you got Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing. Is there another one that's up there? Any like story?
Dead by Daylight, honestly.
Dead by Daylight, yeah.
That's probably my wild card that people are like, you play Dead by Daylight? I'm like, yeah, I know. I actually really like horror games. I like the mystery that's involved. Like I'm a big weenie, so I get super scared really easily. Like I jump scare pretty heavily I've been jump scared in Animal Crossing, which should not happen, but it has definitely
Scorpion,
happened.
was it, or tarantula?
Both, yes. I think catching a very large fish unexpectedly got me one time.
Yeah. Oh, that sunfish is huge.
It's so alarming.
Yeah.
It's so alarming. That one and like the oarfish. Anyway. But I do actually really like horror games, like the story-driven horror games, because I like the mystery of them. Like there's always kind of like an unexplored story that's happening, and you're trying to unfold it and figure out what's going on and what is causing all of this like supernatural craziness around you. And
The
I've always
story
really
Dead by
enjoyed that.
Daylight is top notch.
I mean, Dead by Daylight, I think I just like because I get to play it with my friends, because so many friends play it. But I think it's it's kind of unknown that I like horror as much as I do, because I don't play a lot of horror games on stream. It's kind of a special treat, and I really do. I really enjoy them.
Do you have anything planned for Halloween? Any phasmophobia or something like that?
It looks like Phasmophobia is actually winning. I put a poll out in my
Oh.
community to ask them all what they wanted to see me play, and Phasmophobia has like twice as many votes as anything else.
Yes.
So
I
it
just got
looks like I'm playing
I
Phasmophobia.
just got something for phasmophobia.
Is it a sheet? Are you just gonna wear a sheet over your face? To be Oh no, I could never.
Yeah.
I could never do it in VR. No.
So I'm testing that out tomorrow, and if I'm still alive by
Gosh.
the end of it, then I might. Yeah. So one of the goals for the fundraising for Trans Lifeline was that I would do it with, I would do it in VR, but also with 3 of my mods who hate horror movies. So it's just going to be kind of screaming for the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I know it's ghost hunting, and that's about the extent of my knowledge of the game. I haven't really watched much.
It's great.
And I'm definitely nervous. I'm gonna scream a lot, I'm sure. So that's fun.
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And it's just kind of just when you can do it with 3 friends as well. And you go around ghost hunting, and yeah, and you're all sharing the experience. It's a really fun game.
I just
The
really
NVR, I
enjoy
don't know.
that allow me to play with other people, even
Yeah.
if I don't do it necessarily on stream. Those are some of the games that are my favorite games because how else do we connect, especially right now? How else are we connecting with anybody?
What kind of horror? So you're saying horror story-based games. Which ones do you like? 'Cause I'm the same as you. Like I get scared very easily, but like a horror game with a good story is just fantastic.
Until Dawn is my favorite that I've played, probably.
So good.
I raged at Outlast. The ending of everything up until the ending of Outlast had me like I was in, and then the very ending of Outlast, not okay.
Outlast 1, yeah.
Yeah, the first one. I haven't played the second one. I haven't played a lot of the classics, and that's I think like kind of to my detriment. But yeah, I think Until Dawn is probably my favorite of the horror games that I've played, and I would love to do another playthrough of it because I've only done the one, and it's one that you can get multiple endings for. So I think it would be really fun to try like an all kill run or an all save run kind of thing.
Yeah, I played Until Dawn for the first time in December, and it was great. And I was saving so many, and then like the last 5 minutes, it was just a massacre. It was like they were dropping like flies. I survived with like 4, I think, or so, or 4 of, yeah.
2 or 3 of us survived in the end. I made a really bad call in the like that last sequence. I'd only lost 1 up until then. I can't remember her name now. The blonde woman. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But she's the only one I'd lost prior to that.
There was one person that I didn't really like the character, so I tried to kill them. Yeah, I think it was Emily.
Worst.
Yeah, and and she was like, I think she was on a bit, and she was about to fall, and I was like, don't grab her, so I didn't and let her fall, and then she like appeared later. I'm like, oh, she didn't die. I was so upset.
I did the same thing.
You did
the same thing. Yeah, that's Emily. She sucks.
They were tricking us. Yeah, there's like a great quote, and it's from a clip, and it's something like, taste my fist, and then I don't know, just slaps them around the face. It's a great game. Have you ever played any Resident Evil games?
I haven't. No. Have you?
Yeah, I told you, I get jump scared very easily, and I'm not a massive fan of actually the horror part, but I don't know, Resident Evil games I got into playing 7 in VR. So I actually finished Resident Evil 7 in VR. Loved it, but I was like, is it because of the experience? You know, it's all in VR. It's like playing a game in a totally new way. It's like going from 2D to 3D. But then I played Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I'm halfway through 3 Remake. They're just amazing.
Are they good?
Really, really good.
I'll add that to my eventual list.
Oh, the story's good, but it's also got really kind of fun puzzles as well in it, which yeah, I love it. Really, really. I never liked them as a kid. I had no intention of ever playing horror games as a kid, but now I kind of wish. Yeah, now I kind of wish I'd played them. Now this was a question that was added actually by Devon Bumpkin back when we did the first episode of Jetstreamers, and I've kept it in because I just love it. What's your favorite game soundtrack?
I might have a couple of answers for this one. I think the Stardew Valley soundtrack is probably the one that calms me the most, because I think I've just put so many hours into that game that like even just hearing that music just like transports me into a zen state.
Yeah.
But I have seen some like nerdy music people breakdown of the soundtrack in Breath of the Wild, which like for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, it's a really minimal soundtrack, but there's been some really cool breakdown of like how they wrote the soundtrack to like blend into one another from the different areas. And then also if like there is a monster nearby, how it like cycles in and out of those like monster encounters. And
Yeah.
seeing that put it into a completely different perspective for me. And I was like, even if I don't think that the music is particularly great, I think that's such a cool thing that they did. It's like kind of a revolutionary. I just love Breath of the Wild. It's genuinely like if I think that is my favorite game, but I'm not going to say it's always going to be my favorite
Yeah.
game.
I'm with you there on Breath of the Wild. It's up there. It was actually it was the first Zelda game I ever finished. It would have been Wind Waker HD, but my gamepad, you know, the giant slab of the Wii U, that kept dying, and I was only able to play it for like an hour, and I was like, nope, it's probably going to come to the Switch. I'm just going to leave it.
It's a great game too. Wind Waker is one of my favorites.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I just couldn't stream it for 1 hour, and I think it was like £60 to get like a pro controller, and I just for the Wii U, no, it's a bit of a waste of money. Yeah, no, Wind Waker. That's one of those games as well. Even though it's HD, it is one of those games that's like it's the type of art that kind of can just. You can play that now. I could quite happily get the Wii U and play some Wind Waker, and it would just feel like a game that's out right now.
Yeah, I think that because it's so stylized, they did a really great job with like the art style in that game, and I agree. Like it kind of it holds up, even if it's not like expert graphics, I guess. But because they're not trying to go for a realistic thing, it really still fits.
Yeah, that's what with Breath of the Wild as well. It doesn't need amazing graphics. It's a style like that.
Yeah.
That's why, in fact, maybe you were talking about looking at old games. So you played like SNES and you go and playing some Echo the Dolphin. And those kind of SNES games, they hold up because they've got that art style. But if you ever try play a Nintendo 64 game or a PlayStation 1 game, like the original Polygon games, it's so hard.
Yeah, no, those do not. The faces are not right, and animation movements and things like that. It's all a little bit weird and wonky. But I wonder how we'll feel about that same like concept, because I feel like right now we're kind of in like almost uncanny valley territory with graphics. Especially for PC games, where like they get so close to accurate, but then like the mouths don't quite move the right way, and like their walking is still a little bit weird. And I wonder, like, you know, another 10, 20 years from now, how we're going to feel about these same games that we're like, oh, these graphics are so great. We're going to look back and be like, oh, why did we even put up with that?
I did that not too recently, but like Red Dead Redemption, the original, I played on Xbox One S, which was like the Xbox 360 one. And I got to get immersed quite quickly into it. But yeah, it's like, I remember playing this and thinking, my God, these graphics are stunning. But then you play the sequel.
It's the same thing with like Skyrim, right? Like that came out, was it like 10 years ago now? I think. And I remember when that came out. I remember when that came out, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, the graphics are so great." And you look now and like they're good. They're not bad, but like they're not what we currently can do. It's so fascinating how fast that all moves.
I tried to play Skyrim after playing The Witcher 3, and I honestly can't get into Skyrim. I keep trying, and I go about 6 hours, and then I'm like, what? It's not. I've played The Witcher. I'm fine.
I've not played Witcher, so maybe I wonder if I'll have a similar but opposite problem.
Yeah.
I played the entirety of Skyrim.
Maybe you'll go into it and be like, oh my God, it's the size of Skyrim and that kind of gritty, medieval type of feeling, but it's gorgeous. And I actually started a second playthrough on PC because I played it on PS4, and it was good, but it was really testing my PS4. Like there were bits where the map would just not load in and stuff, and then I played it on PC with really nice settings, and it's just jaw-dropping. It's a brilliant game. I did it with Dragon Age Inquisition as well. That was another one. I was like, well, if I can't get into Skyrim, I'll go and play some Dragon Age Inquisition, and I had exactly the same thing. Witcher just ruined games for me. It's a pity.
Oh, no.
It's a pity. It's so good, though.
I'll play The Witcher last, because people keep begging me to play Dragon Age. So Dragon Age will have to come next. Have you played Mass Effect?
So I've only played Mass Effect Andromeda. That's the only Mass Effect I've played. Because
I wonder if you have the same experience, though. because it is a little bit more linear than I think Skyrim and Dragon Age and Witcher are kind of meant to be. It's definitely, especially the first couple, are a bit more linear, and I would recommend knowing what the main quests are and only going for the main quests if you do decide to play them
I'm
until at
definitely
least
playing them. Because have you heard about the remake that's coming out? Yeah, so that remake looks like it's, I mean, it's been certified in Korea, so it's like, yeah, it's coming out. People think it's going to be March or something, and I
very
am
excited.
100%, unless there's like a brand new, big game out at that moment, but I'm 100% going to play through all three of them because I'm like, I never really enjoyed playing my Xbox as a kid. I had one, but I was always like Sony. I love my Sony PlayStation. And whenever a game, because I think the original one, I even bought it, but I just never really got into it. And I would love to. Yeah, no, I loved Andromeda. I'm one of those few people that actually really enjoyed it because to me it was like a cool space game. And I love the premise and I love the kind of the story and the background of it all. And, this was thousands of years in the future and Earth's probably destroyed or whatever. I think I kind of know endings of 3 and stuff, but yeah. And so all this had gone on and I loved that, knowing that, but I didn't have it. I wasn't playing it as like a Mass Effect game. So I wonder if I'll grow to hate it by playing the original.
I also wonder, because I didn't actually play it. I played the first 3 games in preparation for Andromeda to come out.
Oh no.
And then by the time I got to that point, I was like, oh, I don't even want to play any more of these. And I know that Andromeda isn't like an actual continuation. And I was like, oh, I played these and I loved them and I just kind of want to be done and let it go. And so I never actually played Andromeda, but I do wonder because I heard such awful things about it as a continuation because it didn't seem to fit the rest of the Mass Effect world, I guess, from what I understood.
Yeah.
I do wonder if you'll like go back and be like, oh, I hate Mass Effect, or if you'll decide like after the fact that you didn't actually like Andromeda that much and you were missing out prior.
Don't worry, because I finish a game and by the time the credits have finished rolling, I've forgotten the entire story.
Like I know I want to do another playthrough of Mass Effect, and so many folks are like, "Oh, but it won't be your first playthrough." And I'm like, I remember 2 things. I remember literally like 2 things that happened in that game, and that's like it. So you're gonna get essentially a first playthrough from me. I don't remember anything.
Same. I will definitely stream because I like playing a story-based game once a week and Mass Effect trilogy. In fact, because we thought it was coming out in October, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. I don't care other games are out, but I really want to play it. Yeah, the male romance options in Andromeda were a bit kind of weird.
Were they?
It was either like, romance this really strange alien or this other strange. I don't know. I can remember it being very restrictive. But your own character, the male character in Mass Effect Andromeda is very attractive. So
just romance yourself then.
Exactly. Yeah. Every night in that game, I romanced myself. Oh dear, we're only 30 nautical miles away, so I've got to go push that last part. I've got to go and get the best parts. Don't worry, it takes a little while to land.
Okay.
Which, seeing the result, you'd be like, oh, it actually took time. What games are you playing now? So you're obviously Animal Crossing. Are there any other games that you're playing at this moment?
Well, we play Minecraft because I have a community server, so I'll play Minecraft from time to time. I've been dabbling in Among Us as well. And honestly, like I constantly have things kind of going on between a bunch of different games. I keep meaning to go back to Ooblets because they did a Halloween update.
Ooh.
And I keep forgetting to go back to it. I don't know if you checked out Ooblets when it came out, but
No. What was the other one? What was the other one that was that was like, because I felt like Ooblets came out for a week and then people loved it and then it disappeared a bit. There was another one that was like a Pokemon Online one.
Oh,
That had 2 words, I think, that they were saying.
I can't remember. I know which one you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's called. It's like
Temtem, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. I was like, I know it. Yeah. I did not play Temtem. I surprisingly did not play Temtem. No, Ooblets was really fun. It just didn't have a ton to it yet. It was a pretty short game because it's early access at the moment, but they did come out with some Halloween content that I keep meaning to check out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would take me that long, but I just want to see it.
Yeah, I like it. But if it's in early access, I might wait for 1.0 because I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's fun, but it definitely doesn't have a ton to it just yet. I would say there's probably a good solid like 20 hours of gameplay, and then you could grind to like max things out and min-max, but after that, you're just kind of like, oh, I did all of the things.
Yeah.
So.
What games are like? Is that your off-stream game, or do you have any, apart from like Dead by Daylight, are there any other off-stream games that you like to play?
Honestly, at the moment, I don't have much. I'm kind of like, after, like, aside from Dead by Daylight, I do play Dead by Daylight quite a bit off stream. But aside from that, at the moment, I haven't really been playing much. We just got some kittens, so that's been eating into my game time.
Oh, it's adorable.
They're taking up a lot of my time. Not in a bad way. They're sitting next to me right now. They're both sleeping. With kittens being asleep during the entire podcast.
Whoa.
Doing that.
What are their names?
Juniper and Archie. I would show you them, but they really are just so sleepy, and I
Yeah,
really
you
don't
like
want
to keep them asleep. If they're young kittens, you want them fast asleep. I just made my dog stay downstairs.
Honestly, if I woke them up, like, they would be walking all over the keyboard and probably would accidentally close this window, and it would be a disaster. But they're very sweet. They're just very young. They're only about 10 weeks old right now. So they require quite a bit of attention off stream.
So they go,
which is
chat, go and follow twitch.tv/FrankthePegasus if you want little cute kittens. Are they in your Discord as well?
Yeah, oh, they're everywhere.
Go.
I am obsessed with them, so you cannot keep me from talking and posting about them, honestly.
Yeah.
The fact that we've gotten this far and I haven't mentioned them once is kind of
I was so impressed. I keep getting mesmerized by the stuff behind you. If anybody's listening to this on like Spotify or iTunes, you've got absolutely wild wall there. Did you put because I know you're Frank the Pegasus, you have the rainbow with those colors. Was that put on there afterwards on your wall?
Yeah, I painted that. Yeah. If I change the light, you can see that they're like, hang on. It's like, oh, these aren't white lights, but you know what I mean. Like it's very much like my brand colors. When I have the pink lights on, it looks a little bit pinker, but I painted that. I took some of my branded materials, I guess, to the paint store, and I color matched as best I could. I stood at the wall like a crazy person, pulling colors down and matching as best I could. And then we painted this before I even moved in here because I knew this was going to be my office.
Yeah.
We had like a week between our old place and this place, so we painted that on the wall because I was like, I just think it would be fun to have something that's like behind me on the wall, just being a bit of an accent. And then the collection behind me is a lot of stuff that was sent to me by viewers or things that I've made, or just little trinkets that I've collected along the way. But like all of these pictures are all unicorns with unibrows because I'm obsessed with unicorns with unibrows.
Unicorns with unibrows. That is very specific. I like it.
People will draw them and send them to me, and then I hang them on the wall, and they're a collection of them. This is probably like a third of the ones that I have, but they're some of my favorites.
That is beautiful. Yeah, I sometimes kind of regret that having the green screen, but there's literally just the wall right there, so there's nothing. I can't really put anything behind me, but no, I love it. I love seeing people. Yeah, I love seeing people's backgrounds when you've got or Justin's got, and you can see every time you look at it, there's something different. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Frank's Twitter is now the official kitten posting platform. There you go, twitter.com/FrankthePegasus. If you want to go and check it.
It really is. It's just like every other post is a kitten. I have a video that I'm going to post later tonight of them grooming each other, and it's super cute.
There you go.
If you need some serotonin in your life.
I just remember, that is where I did see the kittens. I did. We're just, by the way, making our way into the descent. It's very, very, very windy. You can't really hear because I put the sound quite far down, but there is a lot of wind around here. So make sure your seatbelts are on.
Is that the excuse for your landing? Is that where
oh yeah, dear me, oh dear. I think my lunch just went up to my mouth right there. What games? So you're talking about the games that you're playing right now. What future games are you looking forward to? Are there any?
I saw this question when you sent me the questions, and I was like, I should probably pay attention to what games are coming up. And I meant to look things up this morning and did not.
The big ones I would say are like Watch Dogs Legion. That comes out on Friday, which I'm going to do for like 12 hours because I love Watch Dogs 2. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla. These are all like personal games because that's like one of the main areas in that is where I'm from. So I'm like, every game that's coming out is just the Cyberpunk from the Witcher 3 developers as well, which is, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the games that are coming out soon, I'm not super stoked about, to be honest. They're just not like the types of games that I play. And that's not to say that they're bad or anything like that. I've never kind of linked up with any of the Assassin's Creed games. I think the gameplay looks really fun, but I don't know, I'm not a particularly violent person, so games that are super like, I
Killy
don't know,
killy.
slashy, I get
Yeah.
like I get squeamish about it. That she says as she plays Dead by Daylight, but we don't, I'm a walking contradiction. Just don't look too hard. Squint and walk away. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot though. It sounds fun.
yes.
Sounds like a good time. I know a lot of people are really stoked about Cyberpunk too.
Yeah, I'm really
Um,
looking forward to that. I'm looking forward. I hope it's nice. I hope the story and the themes are really deep in that. Because
mm,
at first glance, it's a bit like, whoa, okay, they're including this. I just hope everything that they're
yeah.
including is dealt with in a way that's interesting and explores
Yeah. Yeah.
a
I
lot.
think that there's room for them to do a really good job, but there's also a lot of room for it to go kind of south, unfortunately. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
we
We'll
will.
see.
We
I'll
will.
probably wait until a couple of other people that I know have played that one and can kind of report back and be like, yes, it's safe to play, or no,
Yeah,
don't
I'm
do
hoping there are
it.
reviews out for that before, just to see. Yeah,
Hmm.
and Watch Dogs Legion that's coming out set in London, where I used to live, so I'm like love to kind of wander out on there. But yeah, Watch Dogs 2 was the first game I ever played that had a trans character in it. There's like a trans mayor that you're helping out.
Oh,
Uh, and
cool.
it's got such a diverse cast as well. And I don't know, just playing that, I was like, this feels like a game where everybody's welcome to play it, and it's kind of they're not afraid to just make it so that that everybody's welcome and everyone's
Mhm.
represented, and it just felt
I
brilliant.
really love that we're seeing that more and more in games that you can just like you get to when you pick your character, you get to just kind of like customize your character. There's no gender assigned to it.
Yeah, Animal
Like
Crossing was great with that, wasn't it?
Uplus is the same way.
Oh yeah.
You just customize your character and then you can like change their hair and outfit anytime you want. And I just I little things like that and I'm like, this is great representation and you're not taking away from folks at all. So
Yeah.
just give us those things. We want them. We want them and you're not hurting anything. And it's not even really like I think some folks think it's like some kind of political statement, but it's really not. It just is an easier thing. You don't even
Yeah.
have to code. You don't have to code anything. You just say like, okay, you make your body look at the way you want it to look and put your hair on it and wear
Yeah.
whatever clothes you want and have a good life.
I'm like that in Animal Crossing. Like the amount of times I've gone and like, oh, for the last 3 days I've been kind of female presenting in that game. It's just
Mhm.
I just liked that hairstyle, and yeah, I was dressed as a Smurfette. I was for a bit because
Oh,
the blue
cute.
paint came out. I was like, okay, great. We've got people in the chat saying they're saying a prayer too fast. Anxiety is rushing at this. Call your
Ooh.
family and loved ones.
Okay, all right. It's been really good knowing you.
If you jump now, well, no, actually, yeah. Wait for a little bit closer, and then it's like just the ankles. They're the only things that you're gonna lose. Brace, brace, brace. Oh, now we're going too fast, too slow. We're gonna just drop out.
Oh,
Um.
jeez
Oh,
Louise.
I don't. If you can hear it in the background, it says stall, stall, stall. So just wrapping up. What are your plans for the future? Because we're talking about like having goals and stuff like that. Do you have any goals or any plans for? Well, you've got your your partnerversary coming up.
I do. Yeah, that's like a week from tomorrow, which is really cool. Um, I have a sponsored stream this Thursday playing Later Daters, which is a really
Ooh.
silly, like it's like a dating novella, kind of one of those I don't remember what they're
Dating
called
Sims
exactly.
type thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it is a dating sim, yeah. Where you play as an elder person in a nursing home, and it's super LGBTQIA2 plus inclusive, which is the reason that I'm so excited to play it. So, I have that going on. But in terms of like future plans, I don't know. I kind of take things like week by week and month by month. I try not to look too far out. Um, and if I go further out, it's like what comes after streaming, like what comes after this is my full-time job is where I look, and that's years away. So
Yeah.
it's like I have no in between. I don't have like, what am I going to do next year versus, what am I hoping to accomplish there? I just
Enjoying the
honestly,
journey.
yeah, I really do. I try to just enjoy what's in front of me and enjoy meeting new people. I think that probably is my biggest goal. If you're talking about like what is a goal, it is meeting as many people and hopefully providing them the safest space I can, and constantly working to improve not just our space on the internet, but like the spaces of those around me as well. You know, making sure that other people feel uplifted, and I'm using my voice to make sure that those spaces are also getting recognition.
Brace,
You know,
brace, brace, brace.
okay,
We're about to
bracing.
land. Brace, 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 brace. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we're taking off again. Oh, no. There we go. I hope you hadn't had lunch. Well, if you had, you're going to taste it again very soon. Right now. But sorry, I hate to interrupt you when you were saying that, because it really does feel like that's already in your chat, and for it to continue like that would be wonderful. And I'm sure everyone in the chat, I see there's so many people in the chat that have come from your community, and hopefully they're feeling welcomed by mine as well. But they are. I really do when I go into there. When do you stream? When are your streaming times?
I stream at 11 a.m. Central Time, which right now is right now for UK is
for the next 5 days.
It used to be 5, so now it's 6 p.m.
Ours went it's 4.
No, 4.
Because ours went back. Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be 4 p.m. But then in a week it'll be 5 p.m. again.
Okay, yeah. It's so annoying. It's just, I think I prefer it in spring when there's like a month or so, when there's like 5 weeks of difference.
Yeah.
Whereas now
it's frustrating. It's definitely like, if we're gonna do it at all, can we all just agree to do it on the same day?
Yeah.
Because this is a lot. I told so many folks that like stream, like we were trying to promote that stream would be at a different time, because half of my viewers are from the EU. And so I was trying to promote it, and then still that day everybody was like, oh, I forgot you were going to be early today.
Early?
We tried.
There was like an EU law passed that they were just going to eliminate it. Even though the UK's left, I just hope that if that does happen, and I imagine if it does happen, they'll just go along with it, because we're not farmers anymore. Not really. My family aren't anymore. They used to be, but we don't need it that much. Yeah.
I started at 11 a.m. Central Time, and I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm off on Mondays and Fridays.
Nice. What do you do in your days off? Just chill?
Yeah, usually I'm doing like off-stream emails and things like that for part of it. And then a lot of times I hang out with the community if I have time, cleaning and doing errands and things around the house, and just taking some time for myself. Every Friday, my friends and I will do like a movie night together. We have, at least since lockdown. And honestly, for a bit before that, we were doing movie nights, like not every single Friday, but for a lot of the Fridays. But once quarantine started, we just decided to start doing it every Friday, like digitally. We watched all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and then we just finished this past week watching all of the Star Wars films.
Ooh.
So I don't know what we're watching next, actually. I don't know if we ever decided.
Which was your favorite?
Talked about Ghibli's. From all of those?
Yeah.
I'm a big MCU nerd, so I love them all. I am not a Star Wars fan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I am controversially not a Star Wars fan. I will say that we watched like the 3 most recent ones.
Yeah.
And those were fine. The most recent one, is it Skywalker Rises?
Rise of Skywalker, yeah. Skywalker Rises, that's the difference. But yeah, daylight savings time isn't about farming. Okay, I will have to Google that.
I'm pretty sure it's about candy, isn't it?
Wow.
I'm
kind
of joking. I'm kind of joking, but from what I know, currently a lot of the reason for daylight savings time, at least in the US, to be as late as it is, has something to do with the trick-or-treating industry here.
Really?
Which I realize is probably not as big of a deal there. So I don't know why it's that, but I think it is partly because of the candy industry.
If it's about candy, then I'm all for it. Yeah.
Promote the candy. Yeah. I don't know. I've heard that before. I don't know what kind of validity that has. No.
But so you liked the Rise of Skywalker? Yeah, because I like the Star Wars world, not necessarily the movies that much. I kind of love the MMO I played, and I loved that. But
yeah,
the actual world.
The thing is, I love sci-fi, and I understand. Not being a Star Wars fan, I tend to say things that accidentally offend Star Wars fans, so I apologize in advance for off-putting every single one of your viewers and listeners. But what I understand, people yell when I say I like sci-fi, but I don't really like Star Wars
Mm.
because people say it's not sci-fi, but isn't it sci-fi?
Yeah, I don't know.
It is kind of sci-fi, y'all. But it's
Fantasy.
probably my least favorite of any of the sci-fi that I've ever seen,
Yeah.
and I think it's partly because I didn't see the older movies, like the original trilogy, until I was an adult. And at that point, I didn't have any of the nostalgia factor. I already knew the storyline, and I just kind of was pretty unimpressed by it. And I kind of felt like it was really overhyped by that
Yeah.
time. And we watched that, and we watched the prequels, which were terrible. Um,
I love
they
the third
made
prequel. That's actually my favorite
is
movie.
it
Is the third
of all of
prequel?
them?
Yeah, just because it's not really that exciting. It's more of story. It's the one where where at the end, where of episode 3, when he like, it's more about him turning into Darth Vader. Spoiler alert: Anakin turns into
Yeah.
Darth Vader. I
Spoiler alert
like.
for a 15-year-old movie.
Yeah, it feels like a good kind of short kind of. I don't know. I liked that. It was simpler. It was a lot simpler
Mm.
than all this other stuff, which I much
There was
preferred.
there was just a lot in the prequels that I felt was really unbelievable in terms of like the interpersonal relations that were going on. I had a really hard time with a lot of like, why was Padma even into Anakin? I still don't understand.
I'm gonna have to watch them all again, aren't I? And I'm gonna hate them as well.
In fact, at one point she says she's not, and then somehow they end up kissing anyway. It was frustrating. I had a lot of feelings about it. But they're the most recent ones I did like, and I did enjoy Rogue One as well, which
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I fell asleep in that. I'll watch it again. If you ever want to annoy Star Wars people, play Star Wars Battlefront and refer to Chewbacca as Jar Jar. No, refer to Chewbacca as Jabba the entire time.
I I have genuinely I'm gonna tell your chat this. My chat knows, but I have genuinely multiple times referred to what is his name now? Boba Fett as the president of the stormtroopers. The first time I said it, I that's what I thought he was. I genuinely thought that's who he was. I thought there was like a king of the stormtroopers and that was Boba Fett. I understand now, but I still think it's funny and I will say it multiple times.
The president of the Stormtrooper. Yeah, it's brilliant. But anyway, thank you so much. We have landed. Anybody that's listening and not watching it on YouTube, we have landed in Zagreb, Croatia. Very beautiful, very scenic place.
What is
And
the weather like here? Don't they always tell you the weather when you land?
the weather is cloudy. No, it's not cloudy. We have blue skies with a balmy temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, with a light wind. So don't forget your jackets. Enjoy your stay. If it was Ryanair, they'd all be clapping at the end. I think I shocked them into into silence with that landing. Their spines are like 2 inches shorter now. It went down quite quickly. All right, well, Frank, thank you so much for joining me
Thank
for
you.
this. And I could have literally could have talked for hours and hours and hours. There's so many questions that I didn't even get around to get around to asking. So I've got a feeling that like at some point in the future, we'll get like a group of people and have like a topic and stuff, like
Yeah.
occasional podcasts like that, where especially if it's going to be a long flight, because and there's going to be some flights that we have to go across long bodies of water that might be a little bit boring to watch. So maybe, I'd love to have you back at some point, maybe with something like that.
Heck
But
yeah.
thank you, and guys, go and follow Frank the Pegasus on Twitch, on Twitter. Are you on YouTube as well?
I am. I haven't posted anything there for a while, but that's where VODs will probably get backed up soon.
Same, yeah. This
So,
week I'm going on a deletion spree.
yeah.
Oh, but brilliant. Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful stream tomorrow.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Yeah. It's every day except Sunday for me. All right, I'll put the Be Right Back sign on and get it closed. So yeah, thank you. All right. Ooh, where am I? Oh yeah, because my camera is. 1 second. I'm gonna put a bit of music on in the background. There we go. I'm gonna put my camera on because it is all. Remove. There we are. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much to Frank